Jah Oil ñoom ñoo jiitu si wàllum jaay essence si biir réew mi te ñu def ko warugal pour kontaan loo suñu client yi boroom moto yi ak driver yi seen jaaxare jeex na léegi pour am essence bu baax ak njëg bu yomba lii sax moo tax ñu amal leen banxaas fépp si biir réew mi pour essence bu baax bu set benn place rek la muy Jah Oil soo soxlae essence bu set essence bu baax gasoil wala kérosine naa la wax ne Jah Oil rek mooy jëmukaay ga doxantul rek si bépp banxaasi Jah Oil nga am si bànneex ak Jah Oil seen bànneex mooy suñ taxawaay moo tax ñu amal leen banxaas bépp si biir réew mi nim gën a yombee pour yow ak suñ liggéeykat yu xarañ yi naa la won ne mbégte rek nga see jël pour am essence bu baax pour say machine fenn place rek la mooy sa Jah Oil ak Jah Oil bànneex kese la moo tax sax suñ station si nekk ca Costa Road ak Banjul wàññil nañ leen njëgi essence bi foofu noonu pour am si lu leer mun ngaa call si 770 8080 322 9070 714 7273 wala 787 1321 Jah Oil, the pride of the nation.
Is both legendary and the envy of the market. Retail banking. One bank, different amazing packages. Whether you are interested in savings account, current account, time or fixed deposit account, lending or overdraft, our team of dedicated staff is always ready and happy to help you out with your transactions as you wish. Corporate banking. Trust Bank offers the most convenient services for deposit accounts, credit facilities, trade finance, bond and guarantee, and foreign currency account. With e-banking, you can make electronic bill payments and online banking and enjoy 24-hour access to your money without ATM. With the largest network of branches and agents, we give you the convenience to receive funds as you please. We are Trust Bank because we take pride in satisfying every customer's financial needs.
Introducing the future of hassle-free and seamless financial transaction. The Una Wallet app, empowering you to effortlessly manage your money anytime, anywhere. With the Una Wallet app, you can now enjoy branchless banking, wallet-to-wallet transfer, wallet-to-cash, and bank cross-border payments, deposit at a bank, and withdraw from any Una branch. Get ready to experience the ultimate banking convenience with the Una Wallet app. With just few taps on your phone, you can effortlessly add funds, withdraw, and send money to your loved ones. The Una Wallet app also provides a detailed history of your transaction, making it easier to track your expenses. So, what are you waiting for? Download the Una Wallet app today on Play Store or App Store and say goodbye to hassle of traditional banking. Uno Forex Bureau Limited, delivering much more than money.
Assalamu alaikum badi ngal bismillah Kerr Fatou programme oton kamin ke jang aramisa bi fana murunta nan jang ko tenke kakacha natali bi na lunta momenti wo mu famo do malti Ahmad Gitteh NPP la Ahmad Gitteh abortan na nak wari bio I don't know how I dragged him to come. It's about time he comes because ngamira ila pati walo ku jamala ale meet the people to bang ale diam jamal fanan kita. I think it's about time in back on the show. Welcome back to the show. Bari biye grey bale kede
nga sista baraka nga jibir lal be kondong albe dawda ka bale assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I'm happy to be back kontanda pour kamuru na jang yalon kana jana komi wato drum bari ita mun special sister
okay
you know so sometimes busy o kage bari nana tetela I'm always available kontanta ka naja once again come here for nyamen a lot of activities lebe kering ku jama lebe kering sa ko man sa kunala karo so kumara ngana nimbare muse jakar
did you have to you watan
wow
ana wa Canada
wa kana ñu fat
ana madam
dafa lifin de tuti dafa seda tuti wow seda mu ngay ñew
naka la seda bi mel dafa seda bi dafa renda
dafa re tuti waaw legi deug na wolof de baaxa baaxa léegi gañ jamoy fay mo ma del jàngal
jamoy fay
waaw
moo la dee
sonko mooy jamoy
sonko mooy sonko léegi sonko sel but you know starting for obviously start international front Guinea-Bissau is part of West African. Guinea-Bissau muna neighbority. Ngaje mi bekeri je karte fayo kete je bile temnum inyanta results announced la. But yesterday the president himself was the first person Mia announced he was being deposed. He was coup d'etat I announced no, and then obviously ngaje mi unfold tawalonko he was arrested and also later on at night the opposition jazz mi animi ronta yo fana arrest and obviously our main rival mi alonko ya ban yo fana arrest. As I speak to you now, our source in Bissau just told us that social media, Facebook and TikTok are all down in Bissau. Only WhatsApp is accessible. Mbalo is being flown out to Abidjan right now. A new leader has been sworn in as the interim president for 1 year term period. What is your observe new quarter in Bissau?
First and foremost komi ya fanyame nga mol be tendu nga jiberal be tendu nge jay Gambia and Guinea-Bissau mu sister country leti relationship mimbe tema bete at the back adung nyentata way back to Sadauda la wato aning Amilka Cabral nyolu kana Nino Viera nyolu kana 4B Gambia and Guinea-Bissau la friendship ila teria meta back adung Gambia fana mo jamal le bijamini alonko ila chosano bata Guinea-Bissau le wo yenning Guinea la kuol dundi ñokono back defon at my level ntela broda fula koto ma bakilim fakilim ala musu fula bota Guinea-Bissau nga koto ma do soto di sem fada mi ala ko fana ala muso bota Guinea-Bissau so adu wo mu family jamal lel bi jamini ala yo connection ol soto so min keta at personal level coming military la intervention wala military coups coup d'etat lu amanke fendi mi alon ko mo nyanta encourage la so ntenga jele ko dal min keta je ani kuya warta for whatever reason coming ning carte fayo democracy be caring molla will mu menti ye wo nyanta kala fendi mi alon ko nyanta bunyala adun coming ka fendi laoto nga jele Gambia Manzakunda position o tale through Ministry of Information Dr. Ismaila Sisala Ministry koto ye statement o bondile ka coup d'etat min keta ka abaydal ka abay adu ya condemn le in the strongest possible terms adum fanan kaytandi ko Guinea-Bissau ko le carte o fay mol lafta minna wala nyanda ken so I think Minkeraje is very unfortunate.
So and I think me and so when it comes to military rulers more encourage. I think my favorite person is obviously Malila leader. I like him.
Asimi Kweta.
He's military. I like Dumbuya. He's military. I think what is important, they're doing good for their people. And if Mali the citizens are happy and there's renewed hope there. That's something me civilian government marking. But then foka, I think governments ngai Senegal jele when Senegal jele ECOWAS ni AU jele condemn Gambia government and I saw other people condemning the military coup, and I joined everybody to condemn. In fact, yesterday I said it on my post Facebook people should Guinea-Bissau make sure the will of the people is expressed, because good election oketal and the results are announced all of a sudden this army nata nying army mi yalongo ngaminje. They were campaigning. I saw pictures of these two army generals who were campaigning with the incumbent, Embalo. This same army guy was the one, Embalo from ate Tubinda kata Mr. Moti. So, womu onata akoy kudeta leke. And secondly, ikoy ate arrestle. Cabrera arrest. He had access to his phones. He was making calls. He was okay for being flown out. Then the opposition leader, Cabrera arrest, and Yindong, Momam Femoy, Abko, will access to anything. Now, a lot of people are saying this was staged. Allegedly, Embalo knows he was losing the elections, and that's why he staged this with his men. Because even the Guinea-Bissau online, some media houses in Bissau, that's what they were telling people. So my point here is, even Embalo, I have fallen on for this time. All of a sudden, another change. More coming for civilian governments. Sometimes is the way they act. What some of these things prompt in their society. What do you think?
Well, it's difficult. Yalong factor jamale ka military coup sambana. But whatever the case,
yeah,
ndenga military coup dal. Sojarol dal itole to barracks bari yemi mfote mol nyandale fanan coming leaders
yeah, to barracks even when the more be injustice be because some coups more constitutional coup is coup when somebody does a constitutional coup you know a military coup jumal fisara jumal.
Yeah, you know the thing is with military,
yeah,
history meet and all of 99% of the time ika civilian governments ike accuse minna ni itol nata banko ka itol le fonka jowya because ndol nga military leaders ol min belo ni akondi nin kememu fulale ka mansa ya fon tuje nga jela mole coup d'etat ke for example ya jamme ko jawra metan ya jamme na da katita Uganda ni dara je Museveni bije Museveni Manson Tan.
Yeah.
Yo ni dada Mali min fo they were complaining bari sainteng wo fanaye niela fenko jibe ye kansulo min lo ye wati jambale di ala purata mansala. The same thing applies to Burkina Faso. Guinea, you know, sojaro manzakundata bari munebe kerensa akabe lola manzala. I democracy partio dol mini alon ko beloring I will ban. Ya lol kakel. Yo so you know akamunda drong adamadi yala naso jama sojarol coming from moli ni fanal nate ka continue you know Uganda ni tata je Museveni e kelo ka ko mimbe kering civilian government mimbe je abe dictatorship abolle keka ate fonata na labanje sanji jal hanin na alpha ba mi alon ko mobe ajay Kagame be Rwanda. I mean, he's now going to 30 years.
Yeah.
Amanson kata. So, ndengamera sojarianing civilian ya amanke odi maybe na institutional lema macho. Yo anim fanang it's difficult to say. African, you know, governance and politics is sometimes very difficult. I'm sure there are political scientists, they have specialty in this, they can study it, but specifically Guinea-Bissau Badam coming out for Nyame, I reiterate my position. Kasea kang anim mansa kunda fanana lodla kaitandiko coming nganyinna nata mol lafta minna weke democracy sabati anim fanang mol la wilmu minti weke military
stay barracks to
you know coming kudetal dal wol kana ken tanga mira wol nyanta kel ha.
And it looks like Ntolajan, to be honest though, I think one thing I've always said, when it comes to Gambia, if anything has changed, is the role of the military in our society. Kunung keje no nyaming, kidol betulabi te molbi karobela, be mawoje. The army stayed back. They're in the barracks, they're in the camps. Mobini ini bukan ing army of buka bensilo kang. To the point, I think that is one thing. Moli wajenu ko jambeta mama beta bari being ajele ko. We saw that in the army.
Yes, I mean, again, yes, sojar kundali coming militarization o kakebake sojar mansa kunda koto. I don't hear him for it's important because kabirin President Barolo mansa kunda nata wolmu fennet mini alonko ya try bake ka sojar ol bondi politiko kono be sojar kuntiol nga commander in chief kondong nga tentu wala nga jay sojar successive military leaders minunata masane kinte he did a lot of work to try and ka reform sambana ate bota je yankuba drame na general drame wo fana kata bake Mama Chambije Saimi Alonko, he's also working very hard. There is a security sector reform that is going on. And alhamdulillah, niajibe promotional kakenyameng, aning, coming a lot of programs, yeole sambanang puru sojar kunda, salary la falbe otofanang, aning ka a make sure ko military nyanda min sotola. Nga kata nga dila bari nge dabondi politiko kono manza kunda kana sojarol use manza kunda kana sojarol dabula ndiku kono mela manyana yemi follow wato ning ya jamala mid the people to be caring wala la fengol be caring sojarol leka APRCT sarol do I mean kadung they were very heavily involved in politics. But saying but Al-Hanibi, we have a long way to go. Puruka security sector reform yinka implement ngale baka na manke soldier all damati police all intelligence and all of that. And coming yaje fanan kamoja sa ekata da NIL puruka omoya manfair.
But police will come all command hansa.
Yes, well do kolom. Police only right so if they have basic reasonable doubt. They have right police all and in the science as na if they feel ko asobita ko ite fenne be kere mi alon kani silo manda fo mu tonyal de fama ke tonyal police all will everywhere they have the right to do bari puru intelligence NIL na mo chika ya samba wol dol wol turo fata nyim banko kan so
but
alhamdulillah.
Okay, but the thing is fanang mol dol ba fala ko niaje soldier ol fanang in another way they are not in charge. B, economic level in charge. Economic level state house, economic level na border to, Katamas, Dulal to economic level everywhere. Ngajele to meet the people talk on a phone, incident do ke soldier rolling some people ye model allegedly malhandle the economic forces. You understand? So it all be in charge. And a lot of the Gambian people are crying minti wolom. At this point, economic man na faso to jam. Because inata min na yo mission achieve tale. Kelo man kenung Gambia jam. Inatale nung ka la will of the people ka make sure I futa. Because coming kete bisa kate fay alko mansakati da. Economic nata wala bar kele physical kelo man kaya. Now 7 years down the line, hanisa economic bijang, Gambian soldier will bijang, they are not in charge. How is that anything achieved?
I can tell you, in fact, Bissau right now, there is a mission there, Commission of Gambia. There is a mission in Bissau of ECOWAS mission of Bissau, just like
ECOWAS, Bissau and Gambia mankele.
No, but again, I'm trying to.
But the reason why Bissau is necessary,
but now let's go to
Bissau la colon.
Okay, now Bissau to yes, Gambia.
Okay.
Follow. The military is actually in charge.
How?
The two have different roles to play.
Okay.
Mansa Kunda, intelligence is very important. All information on me soto. Kumayata back. Ntolu nsediamu as Gambians. Ntol ordinary Gambians ntol kamenje at face value. Aning maybe security institutions wala commander in chief ka intelligence may receive about its security institutions as a ke fatata
Yeah.
mbela lon ko baro min kala tabulo kan security nin tankola kuola ndenite mawlo
Honey.
those are classified and they are secretive adun tol be la nyinal ko tonya former president Yaya Jammeh I loyally solicited in the institutions tol ngalon ne hanna manke sojar kunda dama nitara in the SO8 state-owned enterprises, ports authority, Lombang, Naweklo. You have a lot of people, they are still very loyal to Jammeh. And if they have the opportunity, they'll do everything possible. Purkajako, Jammeh will prevails in this country. And you have people, they under normal circumstances in the military will dolnenete tambila the rank of a sergeant or the rank of O2 or O1 or at least a lieutenant. Well, they were generals. Some are lieutenant colonels. Some are colonels in the military. So, well, loyalty to a man, me or dealer, even though they did not, in actual sense, deserve, is important. Adu mimuje problem odi. They have guns. So, Sojar Kunda, you have military intelligence. Me alongo, they spy on the military. The information they have about people who is loyal to who and what influence they have, In fact, there are things me alongo nte wol fonola, but near composition of fonjibe in the security, in terms of ethno-linguistic backgrounds. Coming sijumalebe munto sijumalebe ibatarako still there is a heavy very high level of loyalty still to former president. But we know President Benjamin and the military Benjamin saying we don't want to victimize anybody. Malafi moe ye mo bayaita suokono ye la fam ye for salary la iba domando manka mini alon ko any rankol sore ma deserve ye bula ye ta through the normal process for a retirement all. Malaf ka more victimized. But if you are doing that, the process of reforming the institution will be very slow. So again, I'm going back to my point. Intelligence ni information on mimbe mansabulu ani Security Council about
But what I'm saying, physically we haven't seen any reforms. Security sector reforms, 7 years, nothing has taken place.
There is
nothing.
There is a
Nothing
lot
has
of reform
taken
going
place.
on. Follow sign. Puriyedung armed forces kono. The process ikatani minna is very, very rigorous. Yeah, family. That's one reform. Ikata example la janni ke promote Yaya Jammeh secondan. I remember that Faraba University la building follow. Abalo la lume, I was a reporter there on that day for GRTS. That ye Lantombo was a lieutenant colonel. Waluna promote direct to Major General from Lieutenant Colonel. He was very happy with him. Alora meeting over and Faraba Molbo remember Lantombo Tamba is alive. I promote to Major General Wodula. Nga molje mine alon ko ay content rong fenko be kering I promote direct to colonel from perhaps a lieutenant. So sign ite wol jela institutional kon. Immigration department wato ndol ngalon ne kabir ya jame biye mol kanale mol chikadro mo jama bali ko ali samba immigration.
Bari ko sa alfanan ko leke
no mbatu ni ajibe
no from institution state let me finish state or enterprise this securities of
okay immigration na director ta immigration na post ye press release bondi and by the way immigration na director mbaten tula bake mbaja ila mbu they are now doing a lot of background checks on the new intakes mini alonko they are using fake high school certificates. Molla High School, mina alonkonte Ahmad Gitteh, I had an excellent high school result. Modoeta na high school result I have for I ento use. Wal siya battle no. Eta immigration. Walla yeta school also ye fake result or was result or fenge. They made a press release. So these are things when I be carrying need a police fanang sign. You have a lot of reforms going on in Gambia Police Force.
Gambia Police Force.
Yes, need a high
let me just break you there. Gambia Police Force recruit all minta. Gambia be complain ka wallela. Omar na boyo mi ya parliament mandina ring. It was the recruit that malhandled him allegedly obviously protesters all mean pura data flow protesters all is the recruits nga jele neñim protesters mu take handle ñam police station or kono. I'm sorry, but I don't see any of those reforms at the Gambia Police Force.
I mean, okay, Umar's case was very unfortunate, and most sincere condolences to the family. Ninko reforms bije Adamadin Kunda it's an imperfect society. Mose bete a nyao nya nyaje alako Adamadin walti. Nasi mankutolom abemu nasi fengol kulle buna adamun khata ay adamadinje aka nasi kuol ke. So incidents like minketa mandinaring is, you know, fenna miyalonko wolu adamaya kono aka sotole from time to time mafoko is justified bari adamaya kono ni mistakes ifal ka sotole bari miyam kontan indi je wolam nyindiko man say very high level government officials ye wolle ki itata e sita ning alfal kachat adun minu bije funding ke kunda under other regimes in this country malaf katolfo nga molje be kamfaring funding ke and I highly respected their frustration but then they spoke freely. Diamutale, even though dolu ye kamfato diamol, but alhamdulillah, minu tata je. I alfayata nyaunya. Imaji be ko nyilka kumo dol fojan, they are not appropriate. Ye lamoy with respect. Adung ye aswonyi nako. Allafta nyinkwe investigate nyameng. Ba investigate long. Iko after private, malon for private, corona lombam private. Ye feo fembo manzakunda ko no problem. So we are itandileko. There is reform because government is listening to the people. Security institutions are listening. Again, this is not to say core, we have everything that we want. Coming, Feofen Laftal Ambassador, it will take time, Fatu. Sanji Muanim Fula, Sojar Kunda Mingi Moya personalized Ayaka 30. Kao Bill. 8 years to
call for but in call for yawante I'm being honest ninga minje so your tanga development je nga fole but what I'm telling you nothing has changed when it comes to the police nga nyim protest ol min beja keta pura dindi wala protest ika ye moltar lorin drum moko ko your assembly ja ko no what we are legal param ye nya pika ye bute ye fay fengol kono that is not supposed to happen in the 21st century in 2025 in Gambia.
Again, I'm not going to justify it. Follow. Minne protest ye protest nde Ahmad Gitteh. I complain all the time about data of a particular GSM, you know, operator.
Yeah.
Ningana 10, 15, whatever gigabytes ang few ninge kumandi konyo kela app car lebono ila ka mbukala katanyame. So I mean ningantela financial ability jibe nara university dinno do la fenko jibe it's bari lua fana jo yata nyao nya lua somebody police or la puru ya authorize yeta ye demonstrate wala ya fo ko no this is not the time that is appropriate puru you show your anger so ninga pamit diala alta nimman pamit diala alkanata so yaje ning moy authority soto adun authority mi asoto is a legal authority coming luale wo sembo diala yo nite balantala ite kaminke woni lua manta so nini wo jakar lota iko mi alon ko lua e sembo diala adu wole be tonya kan woye min fo woye bay ite min mantara silo ka lua la karolete tay lo watu da ka confrontation o sambana for restrain bay ke ni won deng tonya be min
and that right there restraint because lua e sembo police ola bari fana sembo dandura soto lua ma fo police ko hanatra nte am wrongfully assembled here ni entara ya ma fo ko inyanta lipalale lua man sembo police ola e mo bute aya malhandle aya maltreat lua mo sembo fanana even though kaba president of mbebe lua le kono so the police are not above the law they are itol fanana ila sembo abe under a law le ni mo tara dulato and you feel like it's assembled illegally. Obviously, this is debatable because the Public Order Act loi mean for not rebe assemble can and even use la PA system or use la, you need permission from the police. But if you just walk into an office and give a letter di mola loi ma wo sima kam to kon denga kulle ke na ko radato loi man permission need pour ko woke ñu no fanam pour ka ta pour a public office can let a hand over, they don't need a permit for that. That was a public office and they are walking there to hand over a letter. They were not going there, but that is debatable. But what I'm saying, the laws of the land, police will man sembo so hani ente tarambe assemble illegally kanya pin kan kambute you right so that can arrest and take me and the law takes its course, but it can only pakamal handle that. We should be clear about that. They don't have right to do that.
Yeah, I mean, again, woman ke fendi me along ko mo ba dinala, but again, I commend you for bringing up these kinds of discussion, because like we are saying, all these are part of reform. At least police will be maybe see the from and high command. So the fact we have media, me along they scrutinize, they discuss things. Me along they are okay, these ones are not okay. If an alkasile ka jot down and they go and go to the drawing board to see what happens. I know you come in for maybe ite and you are a journalist, a human rights person, you might look at it from this perspective because that's your training, a journalist. They are very particular, very passionate about the rights of the people. Police maybe not a guy from his training, ateka minje olom ninyimbijang. Pura is very close to the road. American embassy is just next to Pura.
So
Mampare.
Okay.
There is a lot of
American embassy so.
But he cannot stop. He cannot just don't talk about American
Go ahead.
Embassy.
Okay, go ahead.
So American embassy is just close, and then opposite you have a bank. These are all very high, highly visited places. Maybe there is a lot of traffic. So maybe police, based on the training, okay, there will be a heavy obstruction of the of traffic.
Yeah.
It can for maybe perhaps year later. Again, they don't have right to express their grievances of what happened and whatever. These are Gambians, they have right to. But as we move with our reforms and democratization, there are areas many alonko police will not have it all right. There are areas many alonko we are just enjoying the democracy because a lot of those children were born under Jame. They have no idea what democracy is. We have youths many alonko we are sometimes in a haste. And I'm not saying but we don't all get it right. Sometimes from a domandumang ninku okeda ngana mistake or learn being a move and so the police have learned a lot from this and young people minifanal tataji they've also learned a lot from what happened, and I'm sure as we move forward there'll be a lot. But ninga police ol fanalo must handle no jibe incidents ol fanasura mi alonko the police very nicely escorted people they demonstrated, some went to State House, some went to Ministry of Justice.
And National Assembly.
And police handled these situations very nice and very professional.
And that's my thing. And that's my thing. Whenever police only, and I think that's something the police should learn from. Whenever police only protests approve, it goes so well. Because ikatali and coordinate ni time for ikabu dini wolf no tole assign ni time wolf akainta ibuka fenyeje. But anytime they try to resist, they try the no ikaje problem okay. You don't think they should learn something from that to say, look, this is a democracy. I mean, people's right to protest is guaranteed by the Constitution, the 1997 Constitution. And more so, whenever we approved of their protest, it can be peacefully. Why not? Maybe Ninka disapprove, aggravated, right? Why not we just approve it and once they do that, they go and do whatever they do. No time because they respect law enforcement. But once you try to restrain them, once you try to control them, they tell you, no, we also know our rights. Because in our constitution, it is guaranteed that you can go and assemble as long as you don't use a PA system. So people will they try to show to the police, go, look, Nalia is permitted dinner. Normal. But now balanta, no, we know our rights. We can do this without a permit. So it is something that the police should look at.
The police will start. I will charge them for
free consultation
for being a police PRO today, because it's like you know akamunda be on the police or PRO. This is how. But again, nimbe kan sambanandame wolom police probably. Niko okay after demonstration on la Westfield because yalong ni demonstration o bekela demonstration o sifa aka fenne nasi bankoy ya sifa nim mo nyanda futala banjul time is money at this particular time.
No, I want to take you back. I'm not fan nasty. No,
okay,
go ahead. Go ahead.
So, Nimonyanda Futala Banjul for 10 minutes. It another, for example, in another Westfield.
Yeah.
Under normal circumstances, Motol me Laftala Westfield, and now Mini Laftala, you know, OIC road la waleta, but Ningalonko demonstration will be young. More traffic will be concentrated on the other side. As a can obe traffic or slow. More do bita fendola. Aita kodo soto ja nimboro da lado to aita kodo soto ja nimboro da do ko lado maybe ana fat la fan fix fat ya jo nimboro eta banjula dola you know camo fix o fana ya jo demonstration ona keda traffic o slow economic activity ka slow.
Gitteh.
Gitteh. Security wise.
No, I'm not going to let this fly. Let me come there. No, let me come here. I'm not going to let this one fly.
Security na tambatu. Nin security la karola. Police will be maybe ning mol ko after demonstration la. Police don't just go sit down. Yeah, foko okay. I get rasikasa bala. Okay, jumalem. Okay, ala. Anytime a group wants to demonstrate, police have to deploy intelligence operatives. They need to know Jumalo Jumati and Imune Bacon. Sometimes you look at the temper level of young people. Nilu, Nyinkuo Minketateng, Mola Kamfa Ba Kuoto Nyadin. Sometimes this is a Kuodo Mol Combedemos, but the level of anger and outrage about that particular thing. And in this one, me laftala, the level of anger about that thing are different. So, near mola, neo intelligence ni psychology jibe ha nying problem on bekerim pura la nying nye mol kam fandi bakele ni koy be pamito dila mola at that level. The tendency of it turning violent is very, very high. So Nim police, they have, again, I'm not a police officer here. You are making me a police officer. I wish we go back to our meet the people store. But
you and I and so many of the people watching live in big democracies.
Yes.
You live in one of the biggest democracies.
I do.
I have seen you protest in those countries.
Yes.
And in America, where I lived, in UK, in Canada, where you live, in Senegal, our neighbor, people protest every single day.
They do.
They have bigger economies, they have bigger budgets, they are more successful countries than ours.
Exactly.
They are only economic activity center, 100 folds, million folds, right? Even Senegal in our corner. But you know what? Democracy comes with so many things.
Yes.
And out of those things, protest is also part of democracy.
Yes.
Now, what we should do, let me tell you, in 22 years of Jame, more non-protest. Now, we want to make sure, Gambia understand ko, and this process mean kake akawole sabatini kataniko nimfengo yedi mi se finti nole ya fo bonsa kunda ko this is my way of expressing because ya no protest nim protest manke no tenu bi nim commission on bekeri National Assembly at sotola. It was because people came out and protest and demand for government to act. Government acted. That is why it is important for citizens to come out and express themselves. Yes. And this is how governments and countries are strengthened. Me frustrate. In terms of megaphones, not everybody has a megaphone that I have or you have to sit on these platforms or sit on radios and speak and government hears you. Ninte diamata bi baroya alafta moila malafka moya ba moila. Ite diamata bi baroba moila. Ntolbe kana platform was used to speak to the government, right? Some people don't have that. That is why they will go out and speak on megaphones so that government can hear them. Now, at some point, people have to understand that that is okay. Now, peaceful protest is something that every person, including government, should encourage, because it tells you how your citizens are feeling. We should make menyanaka fearful. Hey, protest katinyaro. That is what I don't like to hear, because protests are something that are guaranteed, and like a bankol marko ile purman sakunda ya long banku dingo langa niyo be ila hamo muneti ilafta munela, because not everybody has these kind of platforms to speak and talk to government. But when they go out and speak, they amplify their voices, governments hear them. And that is why it is important. Now, I don't expect you and somebody like me to say, go, protest is a problem. It's not.
Okay. I never say protest is a problem. And I never will say that protest is a problem.
Okay.
Mbediamu kang specific situation in the country.
Yeah.
You know, as they relate to communication for them, peaceful,
Yeah.
you know, mall kafindika, balambaya itand. Mbe min foka
Ibe protest min be ke jamea. Kabrin be ibe Amer, ibe Canada.
Yeah, but okay, because of time.
So 2 minutes ngani wrap up.
I wouldn't want to, yes, but again, mbe min foka.
Yeah.
Protest is guaranteed in our constitution. But mimu issue to all it has to be orderly.
That's true.
You understand? And that orderliness of the protest is the responsibility of an institution of the Gambia.
Yeah.
So when they are long, what time and which place are appropriate pour une protest? More say protest. But niya je mansakunda ya diko police will be in charge la pour une protest be caring. Isa allow wale sa deny. Ndengamera dalilo lebije. Because ni komole okay. Momo after protest later, there is no problem. The country is going to go to a standstill. Ni tol benat and sita silo kanja. Sasa tol nyanta ta lopta.
Ni fe medi da protest.
And again, yes, but again, you see, even with that, yaje ka protest.
Protest. Because
yes, you can even protest all is a ken wala bari. Again, near protest fana kono jibe. People with different intentions
it doesn't matter.
It matters.
No, it doesn't matter.
It matters.
It doesn't matter.
It matters. Okay, sai.
Okay.
Mbenyin dulara popular. Going back to the FACO, security sector reform is indeed ongoing.
I disagree.
And it's progressing. You can call National Security Advisor Abuja. He will gladly come. And he will give you the onim atumako isula tafanang. Give me time
to go. I'm
going to go and get some of these things. Every other week. On just one single issue.
Okay.
This week na held sort of the next time young command just
no, you want because you're coming you are coming to promote your government agenda. You have to pay me for that.
No. You see you are a voice for those that do not have.
But specifically every area.
Yeah,
okay.
Because
that's the office of the president.
They are very angry. There is no health infrastructure, for example. Some are very angry with road infrastructure. Some are very angry about corruption. Some are very angry about, security. So you are a voice and a platform for those people. So you ask questions. If they have the opportunity to ask, they will ask. We will be available.
Okay.
Sister.
I will call you and we will start with State House. You start and say budget for Yemin dealer.
Yes.
Yemin dealer and Sinao Jube.
Molta understand ko. Niko State House, among the president of the man.
President of the man. Your vice president Bondijele this time.
No.
Your vice president Kafangoel. Yarenako. Kabirin Gambia Turundi. Kabirin Gambia Turundi. Vice president's Qatar office of the president Onda. Ikake budget kilol. But Yarenako Silang Nia Lafanyo Kapita 1 point something billion. If Siliketa Combatung Afara, Isajako Purka attention or distract. But we are smart to understand that budget is huge.
One of the most difficult jobs in a country is security. And security, the best security is prevention. And intelligence, for example. Yalo mobuka ila budget of banku tije ka intelligence, Gambia's intelligence is on the OP. Mansata for the president of Kanyene spend intelligence.
Is that why the 700 million is going?
One thing I know is
that why the 700 million is going?
Let me tell you this. One thing I know is core. There is so much money that is invested in intelligence to make sure the country stays peaceful. And tranquility.
And we want to we want to keep it that way.
For now.
And we want to forever. We want to keep we want to keep the country safe and tranquil for the rest of our lives.
Of course.
That's what I'm saying. So,
So
that's why that money is going.
And you see, anyway,
and travels.
We'll come to that.
We'll come to that. Now let's look at the Meet the People store.
Yes.
Nde.
Not a Kerr file.
Kerr file.
December 2026 Kerr file. Not a one.
Ite nata wala kabrinsa. 1 year, 2 months to go.
Ikoni man inaji omansia. Kumbo kumazo. Na yal nte mumin, nte mu adamadin siva mint. Fo karambungo to bang, fo doku to bang. Nte I am always an early bird. Mbukala fifeye mone. Wala na puruka exam o fail nte amam fe. Niye monyo nyininka. Kuo kunabe kelanka kumasi juna.
Ite nata campaign la kabrinsa.
Yeah, because yalom politiko nyambu kundu buturi ngolem. Ite nindoka tamase keno wote. Doka wuriya sekeno wote doka dobe kelekan doni be kelekan ni tata waya ni wakachata asikelo bela banda carte file so ndol ka start junala minu be kamfaring bi ngata je yembane sama ngata je yembane sinni ngata je itembane yen choose yen chief sinin ko ye konyelo kortanan sinin ko ba sirawdina sinin ko ba koto ngam do modla sinin ko ba koto ba pam mbebe gre so ika kuma si junale ni mole kacha so I do things early, I start things very early. So yes, Carteva another one.
And one thing I tell people though, you are very tactical. You are a very tactical politician. That I know about you. Ibuka fasi. Every day ngaje la hani beef or kuno. Wa na system neti na kacha wange samanka ente.
Yo, yala.
Ente mu journalist o, ente mantara dulato. Aka fo wa me samala, nka ibe samala min tonte mo. Ente mu journalist o buka ke politician.
Yala anyways, well kuo dol bi jol bakachala in camera. Bareng ko mi nga fo nyame. You know.
Journalist I was talking to somebody. I was on air for one time. But the good thing about us is journalists. So for us, we cannot even show our true colors. Yes, we vote. But for me, I don't support your candidate because that time I support. And I think Barrow should not do that time. That's why I say it openly. I do not support that. And I don't think, I believe NPP have capable people. And when I come to Barrow, Atola Patio, na kabe na jate be ron la tatam la no tala patio be falale ako because when me interpret wala mo tatal kono means Barrow succeed no. That is kind of crazy to me. Patio mimbe ko NPP mo mimbe be NPP kono atol mom most na be to mo nim Barrow jita patio fala wala ko albe boylale fale dai banko bi patio fa.
I mean, you know, yalo nin probably people will have different interpretations. Molba fasara, nyindoba falata, ba falata. But the thing is, maybe President Adam Barrow for Dalilo Minkama. I would have loved the journalists, me and Yininka. I follow up questions on Dalil Jumale atine ko la parti obe ni malo ila parti obe abe farala wala abe fenkela but moma ama follow up questions on
yeah but that is
it could mean
and
different things
and that's why we are interpreting it in our own way
for now. Yes, it's good. I mean, and that is the beauty of democracy and freedom of expression. Environment or deal momo after me for yafu, you know, in a very conducive and very fair and level playing ground. So don't after me na drone say we are moving na Baba Barrow mbakela
we Baba hani UDP the time Baba tele Baba
the thing is fo baba damal baba di wol sotol fana ke badal sa mo le baba ya sile baba sa mama ringol babul politiko konole atemu grand party sa baba mama ya ona sa
okay.
So I mean meet the people to
but even pusa before I meet the people, congratulations. Congratulations.
Yes, congratulations. Thank
you know, this is one thing I've been waiting for.
Yes.
I think I have said it here several times. At some point, people like Jesus should be appointed. They have done what nobody has done in defending the president, in defending his policies, especially Kabirim Faro kata UDP ni and Baro movement tema. Ato le keloke alia kelo sembentu ya po bisotota. To hear that you are appointed as the special advisor to the Minister of Digital Economy. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And that is a good place. Digital economy, Afrisel, Chromium, all these big giants will be Wolokoto, Pura and others. So obviously now our data concerns, I hope you will look at it and advise your minister accordingly.
Bring them.
Especially our, all of these social media, GSM, so some of the things they do, we have a lot of concerns about that. So hopefully, you'll be, and I think most importantly, I've said this, Gambia will monetize. You can say all of these things on Facebook. You don't get paid.
Yeah.
You don't get paid on YouTube if you use Gambian address.
Wow.
You don't get paid on TikTok. Bankudolukan, kodo minka soto. Social media. You don't.
Sometimes I get $350.
Yes,
just by speaking nonsense on Facebook.
And that's what I'm saying. Because also now, just by honey story on Facebook, you get paid for it.
Yes.
But in Gambia is not monetized. You either have to use other address. Sometimes that's why you see platforms using foreign address in their platforms, because that's how they can earn money from Facebook. So ning Gambia monetized that. Imagine how many Gambians look at TikTok, how many Gambians look at on YouTube. People will be employed. Thousands and thousands of Gambian youth will be employed. And I think this is something that the government should look at. But you are going to be the new special advisor to the Minister of Digital Economy.
Yeah.
Tell us about this. How did it come?
Well, I mean, as you know, Alhamdulillah, he achieved the president. And I, as you're aware, have worked together for a very long time. He's a big brother, and he is very assured, and he is also very much aware of my confidence, my contributions, and willingness for collaboration and all of that. And, he feels, based on my background, I'll be a very good fit to assist the minister in giving some advice when and where necessary. But, na press down, I commanded okay purunga na dokuala. Nga banko doku mbela partio nyinindiro ke Gambia nol bulu puru yeman sakunda di nga doku okay. So he feels ko time o sitale mbenga na doku wala. I'm sure you're aware, President Adama Barrow, he has a very good heart for me.
Yeah.
Things happen, many along they were very unfortunate in the past. But in coming for all the time, afana coming for you all the time is that kano anin kanunte ay setan sabane. So sonka keta nyawnya adama dingol tema. Nin kano sabanda sondomol kono. No matter how long it takes. Kanunte yaka murunande. So Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin, like you've just told the world, half brothers will be yellow will Barrow will never trust me and he will never give me a job. Sagadol funding gelalna. I mean, we talk. I'm an advisor to the minister.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of concerns along funding like you said, especially as it relates to data and all of that.
Yeah.
We can always have a conversation. My minister, my big brother, is a big brother, Mr. Jabi. And, I'm a young man. So we'll always protect the interest of Gambian people, the people that voted our government into office.
So are you relocating back?
Of course, I'm relocating back to the Gambia.
Wow.
Yeah. Fatu, the thing is...
That's a huge sacrifice.
The thing is, I mean, you know, more... Okay. What I always tell people, for example, Nte, I am very close to my mom. Ntelama di labauti.
Yeah.
Na sistalu itata futuola juna. Ndenga turol ke nga tabirol ke nga kurol ke mbama for years. And staying away, you know, anene man can tell fengo. Yalo circumstances leketa. Ya jame ki ntata karangola. And in the process there was a problem.
Yeah.
So you are forced to stay away. And I got married. I had to take my wife.
Yeah.
Yela wife samba you build a family.
Yeah.
So family situation okakenyame haningani obela, you know, moving a young family is a very difficult thing. But I've always wanted to be here. I come sometimes Ghana Gambia 3 times in a year. Ngana hajol ke ngata and all of that. I always want to be close to my mom, but I also feel like for this country. I believe I'll be much more useful to Gambia than in the West. Ngana do kuoke nka very good salary soto. But to babol angalel ko yejo feo fenna. Yejo feo fenna among ila do kuosi. Because yaje company or company profit soto. Iko profit is defined as unpaid labor. Ndanga do kuo minkete ya kundi manjo abela wala profit. So ye feo fenge banko le minalon ko they are already established. Canada beda men nga feo fenge auto millions of people are there minalon ko but nina ata jang hani kunding you know I can manza kunda anjo feo fenna imanjo minna profit or ututana banko le. So nde I feel ko this is my country and you know nde I am from a religious background. Someday I want to retire and go back to the mosque. Na community, mamul karande Quran wala, nga kawandol ke, nga alabatu, nga fajang, yen sari. I back. Tubabudu manke dulati mi alon konte, I intend to stay there. Wo hani kabirin kata studies la. That was it. Come in plan ole, ale lanyino leke drong, wo lanyino lu, ale feo fenka buka bay. But in the hani kabirin kata studies, it you are aware. Don't leave GRTS. I wanna go study, come back, and serve my country. Situation happen. So I am coming back. Minya mirakoi malafinga tarajang half brothers bijanet.
Half brothers
babala mfadingon.
We dipingole tonyeka.
So I'm appointed, but you know, I mean, sako sonko Gambia. Mafana nga badia. Ngaso bara.
Yaso bara. Sonko. Congratulations one more time. So let's look at the Meet the People store. Dide, Meet the People store. Mole min kele jawara jamela time ko min kakije kam to ko bile agena tambita obviously kodo min buka spend nun jamela time be wala ka spend. I just want to quote the numbers because I think that's the right thing to do. Ikajele for some year 6 million allocate and they spent how many they spent. Let's see, let me just show you the numbers because that's the right thing to do. I don't want to be misquoted. Jani bafuloko misinformation I call it. Meet the People store. In 2020, 6 million was allocated by the National Assembly. They spent 32.6 million. In 2021, 6 million was allocated. They spent 43.5 million. In 2022, 6 million was allocated again. They spent 25 million. In 23, 10 million was allocated. They spent 61 million, 61.3. 2024, last year, 30 million was allocated. They spent 64.67. This 2025, 45 million was allocated. Male you spend malale jele spend. Akamta lako nyinsi lo 70 hit la. 2026 next year, 52 million allocated. Akoita mala beta 70 million la. Jite 40 million, 60 million. We bohol jelle yeleno nyimbanko kampuru musol gadino 60 million we solar panel jelle yeleno pour courant bankol kan 60 million we karambun jelle jo student no la school fees jelle jo. Jide, is it necessary for just the president to go and talk to Gambians to spend 65 million dollars on that tour?
Okay, there are two aspects. Number one, it's always from
6 million
planned and then
it's expenditure.
Allocated.
Actually, yalo National Assembly come budget. National Assembly like a budget allocate.
That's where I wanted to come.
That's what I'm saying. Because 6 million like allocate puru nyina.
Because here you come in for that. You see, whenever a budget is discussed, a budget is drawn for a country, it's always an estimate. And from Mansa Dauda Yalombak, but from Ya Jamena Fosai, all our institutions, government institutions, the extensions like state-owned institutions or enterprises, near budget or estimate for the operation of a particular ministry. 99% of the time, the estimated budget, the actual budget is more than the estimated budget. War is 99% of the time. Nim mansa kundai budget o 100 million allocate to Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education. At long call, by the time it is end of fiscal year, Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education will spend more.
But that is the problem, Gitteh. That is the problem. Gitteh, no. Let me come here. No, let me come there. Let me finish. That right there, Gitteh, is the problem. You know very well. You work in big institutions in Canada, just like me or any other person. Even when I used to work in Gumtel, I used to be the head of marketing. When I go to my managing director or my director for a certain thing, budget or exhausted. Sometimes they do those things, they will but the right thing should be Nila budget or exhaust minna. Imagine over that. This is not just an estimate. This is not an estimate. This is what is allocated by the National Assembly. Anything they want to do, they must go back to the Assembly and get approval. That's what I'm saying. If the Meet the People tour is allocated 6 million, if government spend above 6 million, they should go back to the Assembly before any Dalasi spend above the 6 million to get approval, because they don't have those powers.
Okay. Okay. So for me, as an individual, let's deal with it. The first thing is, most often than not, Senior Jama, let me go back to that, and then I will continue to say what I have to say about this. Yeming allocate on paper, and ning activity sol nata, minka aka jare minna, wala ka siya. Ni wultajam, for example, let's say wultajam, ilafta tala tola. Eko, yenyim budget o mi allocate, fuelo mimbe kela je, President be fuel mi use la nala entourage. Ibitala Kerewan, for example. But Jani kata Kerewan, ebe kofle eta aljamdu, for example. Eta jufure, eta jejibe. Let's say President unyanta wala ker. But ibitakang, demba sabale wala Ibrahima sila ko President, Jani kafra aljamdu bara. Gadino dole bije musola gadino. Ikoe ba kata kambari, ilafta President otaje. Sister namo edrong. So you have to President totally, because musola nyingadi yo concern so wale ka fengol so ko ye fenne so de amantra fenko kono bari il have to President ko okay, protocol okay, alanga ngata gadi no nyinjibe the President la isanso da malma de man fendo. I'm not saying this is what happens, but I'm just telling you itata o musola gadi no do 5, 10, 15 kilometers. Motosifal membe President. Maybe agenta 1 million spend for fuel. They have added an extra 500, 600,000 because of that. Well, I'm giving you an example. This is a possibility. Nim President o tanke. Gambia tingola tata minia. Ima plan bari nata realize silo kanko. These are possibilities. Ko nyinni nyilkatandu ijare batal. Nyilu dolu. Wol dolu buka President because President buka ta wol ma fa wala. Atata je wala ibitakan President ode sate dole bijam iko ila silo. It's a very big problem. Iko okay, so minister ko to yara ya President ko okay, asilo anyanta dala alngata jela ngaje jibe. This is very genuine. Nim President ko alafta kata mole development qualify alabam ku dingol minio carte o fire hanna tuma Minister of Agriculture ni minnie to itinerary dada moto bulandije ni aje ko jaratale tate taro jibe wala no sol sometimes no sol ndangaje in this store mol bije mini alonko I lota president ya ko health center karbe jana para health center nyi ha jebe president go okay alangata nga je jibe ngata je because ko nyim problem on ni ko jio buka soto wala kura manketen so president ko okay alangata ngata je jibe president so few aita but not tata je fanan sometimes what is the problem iko okay maybe solar manso sa nim president ko okay government sai al sama ala make so solar naja demba sabal al solar sama nanya nyimu nyila problem on atara nyi mantra boje doko so mansa kundata wo allocation itate because ye feel fenke o to kono that is the amount spent ni a solar panel say generate basang wale ako ministry of fisheries say okay nyimfengo alngata make sure you put a borehole here ni oluke wo allocation on nate tambita iteninte min safe jannin kata atola ma plan you know it's human. It's only human. So
you know what is human? Let me tell you. You know what is human?
What is human?
Near 6 million dealer.
And
let me finish. Yeah, you know what is human? National Assembly is 6 million dealer. Nina they go 6.5 less use. Reasonably, we can understand. But not when they give you 6 million, you spend 26 million extra.
Okay.
And come to 32 million. You know why? Let me give you an example why.
Why?
Because Nimtosita, somebody like Ahmad Gitteh, who is not a government employee, he is not working with government, ye motor diala, government vehicle, ye government fuel KJ, ya samba, ye government ye domoro diala, government ya ladulajo, those are the cost, which is no use to the, let me finish. Let me finish.
And I'll come to that.
I'm giving example to you, but I know hundreds of party supporters. Mini Alonko, they are not employed in government, they are not government officials, they are party supporters. They go on these stores, on these vehicles, funded by the government. They ikela bungol kono mi alonko government ka bungol minta to kono ntata tola so nga tol na ka kanyami yela bungol kono mi alonko government le o bungol jo domoro tabi because ni mo tanne bi jebe domoro mo tanne tabi but ni mo kemele bi jebe mo kemele domoro le kera but these people are not government officials. Unfortunately, they are on the tour. Now any expenses that is incurred on those people is borne by government.
Okay,
but they are not government. Is for the president to go and talk to farmers and talk to Gambians. Why do we take all of these people?
Number one, Ndenga Kudolo Mialonko in the tour. NPP has a lot of people minutara tola. For example, me, I use NPP vehicle, but government does not put fuel in my car. It is NPP. Because we have somebody, Mialonko, NPP in column, Alai Saibo Tungara, he's our financial guy. Mialonko, NPP in column, Nina Coastal Tata, Nina Picopol. In fact, we have a lot of people in Siloka. Namolu, na politician, oli adi walla. Adila Padiamo, NPP, Alai Saibo Kajo. Ise undanya nyininka, ise musudrama.
So natul beta tatul Padiamo, NPP la kajo.
Ndema Padiamo, ndema
NPP mo minikata ila Padiamo, NPP la kajo.
Ndema minu long.
Ha.
NPP alai saibo tungara ila kodo itole adil billahi ndenga milo ngamin sedi aning alate mambe ofole. Second, by law ntema mid people actor or whatever is there married but who says ko president onakata tola ani manza kunda dokula da mala nyandata ntema aje luwat. President can go with Fatou Today, president can go with Ahmad Gitteh on tour, president can go with anybody I feel ko you should be part of
NPP ko bonni min to ka NPP ko dio
Padiamo min kanta kam
ba ko min ja ato kan Padiamo ato bol NPP ko la Padiamo ato ko bonni min to ato ko min to
Fatou
no Gitteh, you have to ask them falka bonni masa ko
for fondol mangi adama dingol fo mangi adama
non Padiamo
number 2 mbina kan fondol mangi adama dingol for adama dinne be nyum dunia alabu kamin harje. NPP, like any other party, we have people that are rich. Janni NPP Kalo, they are very rich people. We have people that have become rich as well, thanks to the borough government, because they are businessmen. We have people mini alonko, they pull money from their own pocket to contribute.
Thanks to borough government.
Of course. Iye mansa kundao mansa kundaje. abe mollel kela fendi mansaya fa molti abe mollel kela mo balti abe mollel kala mo dingolti.
So NPP rich.
No, there are people mini along conteng long.
We are not close to Masakunda. We are not government.
I know people that are not members of the NPP. Mansakunda. In fact, there are a lot of NPP people who complain. He told some of them when they go to some of these offices, there are
let's go back to NPP.
Madu, I'm coming. Mini alonko ya feel ko. The treatment they get is worse than those that are not even members of the NPP.
No. I disagree.
You will disagree. Of course, you have every right to that. But let me tell you that. I
disagree.
Why are you personalizing everything? It's not you. Okay. I'm not talking about you.
Okay,
you have 2.5 million people in this country.
Okay.
Yours perhaps is a very, very, very special
rare case.
You know, in statistics we call that you are a very extreme outlier.
0.1%.
Very, very extreme outlier.
Does that make it normal?
I mean,
does that make it normal?
It doesn't also make it abnormal.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
But again,
we're not talking about that. Let's go back to the meet the people store.
Okay.
And my problem is, I believe ning more people like Ahmad Gitteh and who else? But I still give you as
I was not.
You are not.
Yes.
So people like Ahmad Gitteh and others come na talibo konjira. I tell audio bundala benjabele anyway. Come talibo ite fafa sanya ngo fana yable na tata tola. You know, you are party militants. You are not in government. Why should you be paid per diem?
I'm not paid per diem.
No, not you, but the other NPP guys.
Again, let me be very clear. It is not every NPP member that goes on this tour is paid per diem.
Who is paid?
Let me be clear. You have NPP Fana. They have picked from the national executive a few people, many along will officially the party assigned them to go and accompany
the president,
our secretary general.
Okay.
And head of the party.
But he's not on party. He's on government.
Matter. Whatever he is doing is political.
Okay.
Everything has political connection.
That's true.
Yeah. So we have to ask our leader. We assign people kave Congo. So of course, if the party assign them that, it is the responsibility of the party. Just like it is the responsibility of government to take care of those the government assigned to go for an errand for the government. It is the responsibility of the party to also take care of those that the party assigned to go for errands of the party. So you can go. Nobody will stop you. But it is not the president, neither the party that is taking care of those people. For example, me, party Juma. Nobody pays me. I was never paid. Nobody pays me. No. In fact, I did one night in Farafenye. Kabirindata Farafenye. Ngana kebale lo mi alonko. He has a place. Ninda boy sol ngalaji. Kabirindata base ndefang. Ndelanga dulajo dulabi yekafa Swiss base ndolanga bungojo ngana bungojo falo keran setana. So nobody pays our party. Okay. Nobody gives us money.
But but there's no justification for spending that much.
But again I'm saying I do not have specifics. Okay. But one thing I'm telling you, ite ya foleko nyimanyankela. Nko what if what if and all ite aje wate bojero mu alfalti you have an institution here mafonin kodoti jede but fatu niela budgeto samana coming draft for a year. I can tell you 99% of the time ni ko be $100 le spend it goes to $102 or $110.
Okay,
so that is because they are
and that's what I said here. Near 6 million dealer, near 6.5 spend. We can understand that. But near 6 million dealer, yet 35 million spend. That is unreasonable.
Again, Fatu.
That's what I'm saying.
It is a 6 million ta because, for example, it is a 6 million ta. Again, I think this will be the last comment on this. It's a 6 million ta because your expectation is core President Adama Barrow is going to Farato, ay loptano jiba be nyame, ay silol jibe jambu.
No.
Mbaduma pare.
Go ahead.
Ay fana mbaduma pare.
Go ahead.
Ay ta hakalang, ay silol jibe. Yena ya tarako, President Adama Barrow la to, loptano bije min sulata sola la. Sola be sanna jelal, maybe 1 million. Yeta adula doto, maybe wodula sulata fenna. Wodla yeta adula doto, wodula sulata fenna. Niye obe ta ya be la nyoka. Well, there are women groups, many along this particular women group, ilafta purka imako kodola, ye cool topoto. It's all coming from the same government. Nyimusuka fukari, but instead of ite a ene, yengani osoro musukafu kiline, itata tarako, ha, musukafu woro ulafana bija minu jareta nyimako erol. Instead of one, ite a budget probably one. But you ended up having 17 or 18 women groups that you want to support. With their small scale or medium scale enterprises. Probably, I'm not saying but let's find out why it is happening, because Nimman Sakunda is spending that at the National Assembly. Let National Assembly members just stop telling us from 6 million to 35 million. Let them invite relevant institutions. They have that power to invite relevant institutions and individuals in charge and ask them to explain what have you spent this on, instead of before asking, just going about making political statements.
No, this is not actually this is not from the National Assembly.
No, I have seen, I've watched,
this is from
a member of parliament from a particular opposition party quoting these same things you are.
Of course.
But he has never explained the excess, where they've spent it. Probably, Niko Moliako. Okay, for example, Ninata road construction. Niko Moliako. Hey, Ndolga Dalastan di Karl. But I hena Dalasimuani Luldom. It ilaftal drum Molia Tokia. Probably Minube Kamfal. Niwalia Kalamuta. Eko. A Dalasimuani Luledom. But Dalasimuani Lulo in Dalasi Luldo. Molle bije minuma si ma soto adal silulo di wala dol bije ngawtra silo ka singola baramata ngaboro ngamentalato kaije ni o foye momim be kampande o bete kamfala ba na fatu toure joko fatu jalba ko de joko fatu.
I'm not going to argue on this, but that is why hana la silol be we saw all the queries ni Ibrahima Sile dalasi tandiala ay ta dalasi keme you spend ni kay ko dalasi tank spend ay ta dalasi keme. You don't have justifications for these things.
Bari kay Ibrahima
ngolo foy mina silol to
what audit? Okay,
mina silol to now the people to it's a constitutional mandated to and banku dingo yenta president yenta tala akadiamo moli about banko kan a plan movement nga jele president not bankel ay CRR ke ay baseke nyindulal be ani banko dingo akakumo ay politique kachale keje al carte fayne not bankol wolman som fintira ko le ko ha Suleiman Sawale ko mol kana finti ate mune kali jang mbe batala de. I mean, indirectly that's a threat, because that loptano or that school or that geo president coming sama bankol kang, it is taxpayers' money. Wato minabe majum. Nobody ever asked him those things because that was not his responsibility. But today he is the one managing our resources. And those resources, they are Gambian people's resources. Nimana Danku meet the people to. That doesn't mean they should not have that. Or if they have not voted for him, they still deserve those developments. Number one. Number two, what we have also seen in the tour is the president talking about political phone call. La carte fayo namo Ahmad Gitteh, Ahmed Ba, ngama ate baflo mole carte fayo President Barrow ya ndejana finte jana. Woman can meet the people to nafat. But I'm coming to this point.
It is.
President of regional be male, not bank, governor bijele, chairman of bijele, another CRR chairman of bijele. Base, you be mal NPP chairman of it. But kabana birkama. Ngajela I mean for Yankuba Dabo Maji. Ngajela Demba Sabalinyol, Ibrahim Silanyol, what they're trying to do in West Coast region. Attacking the chairman. In fact, the president went directly to Birkama Kole, Nal Lafita, Nanyimbe Kali, Al chairman come directly, come here, chairman, next election, he can't abun. Isajate, Atelef, and Kanakate. Like, how can the president say that? Chairman of Min Balkoto, Well, Yankuba Dabe Doko Minke, I'm sorry to say they have not done that. Now, what has the president said in those regions? Nothing. Because Tonya for like, Jang, council so many along con Kela Dokoje. You know, man for Bukatande, but in community, ah, being alone, council Jumalo, being alone, Malum Fotolo proactive to more, Bari, at all NPP led councils. We don't see a lot of things coming from those areas. And you are supposed to be the ones that are in government. But the president never said a word to any of these chairmen and in councils in these regions. But when he came to Brikama, President Otata Yankubaka, Minister of Agriculture, Pam Yankubaka, Ibrahim Silla, Pam Yankubaka. Why is that? Why the attack?
First and foremost, politics is like family. It's like Adamadin Kundadron. In member cooking. I mean, Haniba Folai. Haniba Folai. Namanke Manda, Namanke Setan Nata. Haniba Folai. Ibuka Fai Kafoko. Come in Musona came a mini yokan. Ni songata. You know, on very rare cases, Yaje Tabante, ye no ban and band. Naketa is usually, you know, the komi mola jusolu warta wala ku bari ye mbari muso ni man agri nyim point wala hani killing president atata tola ay ku jama balel foje min yalon ko their development
comme
silo kilometer jalle dadata nyim banko kan president of signa jama ala mbado idi amtala nga pare.
Go ahead.
President, how much money kodo jalle spent a silo development wala nyimbanko ka. President, health sector loptanol ni healthcare facilities jalle lota nyimbanko ka. You know, geo fanala karola. Senola fanala ye mune keno. Senelaliye. President wo jama balel sata. Of course, for Gambia long, for Angleterre long, for United States long. Politician o tata dawo da purani moli kacha. Politician will use an opportunity nani mol kacha ta ole pareta ala political interest I often advance. Dum in advancing your political interest, you will say the good you have done and condemn the bad of the opponent.
Okay.
Barola ka do ko ke West Coast. Yankuba nana man fensata barola. Yankuba nana man lo on any platform. Ka foko burfood silo baroya dadala. And it's good. Baro Yankuba nana man lako sukuta silo feeder roads. Present ye dokule. These are the sole responsibilities of local government institutions. I can tell you that. Feeder roads. But if baroya burfood silo dadala, Yankuba at least can say, nala kuyabe. Kata burfood lede. I would food silo da dan tele nyanta da dal asa folo le sukuta kata jele de ngaten tu ngajay aning other places min yalon ka be try ka nitam bita bijilo jango sila ni wol min ka duwo dula tay itale wolonte because he boto ma fon bari yanko ba mawfo iya espe ko nim barona ta baronya ndol folo well generally that is politics politician you know unfortunately that is the nature of politics and that is very normal so puru ite law, you advance that for the opposition.
I don't
agree what?
No, I'm not advancing for the opposition.
Because
I'm not advancing for the opposition.
No, because the thing, opposition, Baroko, President Baroko, like in Fonyi, Buyamala Loptano, they are spending over $200 million pour ka uplift kala face aninka facility kije baro for fenkele Fonyi adum there's a small village mini alon ko sulata health post la akoya approve le adi be ambulance o dile na kabira na ta birikam ay afo West Coast damma ay kodo jalle de pansi silol kun West Coast damma ay kodo jalle depansi jata kende ala kunda West Coast damma ay kodo jalle depansi jio la karola central government abe wolle foka nata foko hani birikama marseuto ye project ko soto mi alon ko they were going to build about 1,200 store
capacity
kodi bari ye dantanelo as pilot project problemo min fana nata je ayafo because area council ko yes baronyo le alo bari itolle la jurisdiction mi batalal wo sonko dunda yankuba ning governor temal mobe o kalamuta. I wish they could amicably solve that situation isaje, because it is the two elephants. Mina lonko they are in disagreement. Those that suffer are the innocent and ordinary Gambians. So I wish nkaramoma yankuba aning nkotoma President Barrow ye understanding soto ye let them come to terms in the interest of the people, because wokumada bari ndela press down I mean for amang kuma jaw fo
ay kuma jaw fo no politically ngati na ka fo mole ko na lafta nganyim do ko kali ali alaf ci amano bay nka min fo woto wolom baro tante wo kodoti. Let's establish that.
Okay,
this is the Gambia government money, taxpayers resources. Mi alonko banku dingol la korolom baro ba jubela atela role moment. Government
and
to equitably share those resources among Gambians.
I can tell you, Ko, that is something the president did not mean.
He meant it.
No. Let me finish, sister.
Okay.
Let me finish.
All right. Okay.
That is something me alongo president political, yellow platform okay, but sometimes you just speak politically.
Okay.
In mole kumolfo ye pare. I mean some of them
you
do not mean it.
Okay.
But dalilo me na all yundum kabrim president diamuta busumbala Ibrahim Silla made statements. You are aware.
Yes, that's true.
And kabrim president nata to the podium diamuta bari yankuba la role again, that is for local governments. But president name for ko nata je what police all ni musol le katara dunne nyola siloka. Because mol kasi siloka di manya na silaje. But yankuba la do ko pour ka Marcelo. And of course need yankuba will also say government bukana subvention or din. So you have all of these stuff that push and pull and all of that. But president acted very presidential. I like very NPP like, because NPP in Tolka very NPP like.
I like the word presidential.
Yeah, and ako Ibrahim aketa nyaonya na molle mu wolle innocent people wolle be batala musol min yalan ko tolle ko ngolla karamol jo sa ko inshallah mba trala la ngawdula topoto isaje police ni musol kana du nyola musol se fanso de sela dula so de bela ile bela balwol ni la dame. So president yofo, I'm sure by extension these things will go up to even Brikamante.
I'm driving to? What I'm driving to is, and I said that earlier on here, is that if you are not NPP or NPP related, you're not supposed to benefit from this government.
No.
Technically, that's what it is.
No.
Na lafanga nyimar se sifa lo, ala matunga pare, ala la chairman o bay. Woto ni man chairman o bay alta lola nye. Ni mi mantara NPP ite nyin sotola nga example ol jele. Ni mo businessman o ti mantara NPP or support NPP, you're not supposed to get contracts just like they did to Alaji Conte. Ni mo immediately he may believe ko ike la halamal. Ika halamal.
I don't want to discourage.
Let me come. Ima halamal ke come. They want it, they will take your contracts. Nimu politician oti, imanke NPP politician oti, mbele area neglect lale. This is what we fought for during Jammeh.
So let me be very clear about something. It is human nature to be biased.
Yes.
And it's also human nature to be soft and to be lenient and to be kind towards those that you feel
they're closest
are kind and are lenient with you. Alaji Conte mala fingata ala kuoto. Because ite alone politically minket. Ninte mo Ahmad Gitteh ngadim fula soto. Buba ning Lamin. Nim buba kabala fanye. Lamin buka bala fanye o nyama buba kamako Lamin buka mako o nyama. Nim buba ni Lamin bela jora o bembulu. Adunte la responsibility mu puruka be makoy. Nanata ma fonde buba mako la de. Bari Lamin mbol follow jibela. That is human nature. So Alaji Conte was an adversary, a political adversary who spends his money, his wealth, ala londo, ala sembo, ndena dunda dula jamale na broda terolom during 2021. Atata da ngataje naka bendula alton sudo. Alaji Conte. anina broda bulai they were very strong in West Coast nteni kadunyola ni tata dame moli info ngataje so ni ye mo so mi alon ko koditi olom ala nafulo ala londo ala sembo akaba yusla purite kete la manse a boyndi kodi nin atuma ko mbende Ahmad Gitteh ma nin ayatuma ko nafulo mi alon ka nyante muna fannala o bendela bul adate damma te o do ku kenolan kamindi ninga mo do so mi alon ko woye the same capacity soto adate se min keno be wala ken bilamba di la wala because nte lafta min no mbat
ibata kan ago kuntula
no mbatu nta that depends on where you go because again wala nan ko alaji Conde's case is different.
It's not different.
No, he made a statement for foko
what I'm telling you is that thing is wrong.
No, wait, let me finish the other part. Yeah, family.
Okay.
Nanata biri kamala mi ati nanko President Barrow aka fole bari amanke o mo. Kiang wala joya biri kamala. Example election odo. Ntole ganyeta in Brikama South. You know, incidents only unfortunate things all keta Brikama slipped through our hands, and perhaps that issue slipped and went to KM and all of that. But in Bemimfole, Kiang is a very good example. Kiang mudulad mi al mobe alongo, especially Western Kiang. Opposition on lepije. President Barrow is silo min dada out ani electricity. Kabirin sada kabirin tubabol jamano ne manna. Ngalonde ko Kiang generally hani e tofo. Kol mu mfadi ngolleti. Mfadi ngolla mol. But hannim bita ma sembe election first time kuron be malakan koli yorunyol ning wo sate ol yembali cartel. But we continue to build the roads. Ni dada salkenye ka fa damen ko president di amra fa Suleiman to foje. Suleiman sawo nyininka mimbe keri wo ma fa ni tambita sabale bita kan salkenye ibe mana kutole dada kanje. A very good road le fa tambita ni salkenya. Very classic road ibola loka. Manasilombola moto maleta badibu. President is doing that. President yaloneko sal Kenya manke dulati mi alonko ika catch fire, but he chose and loptan woro mi low do manka mankunda do jokadu I loptano chika specifically asamba sal Kenya sate okon sate jamal lebe sal Kenya bala satellite villages mi alonko well they are 100% NPP aye bali. He can choose ko nte loptano sambala salkenya because bukan support Suleiman sawla mol bodawol bara tata ay loptan baloje kuran tata je karambun kuto bije ye jio fana sambaje aba fala of course Suleiman ye minka manya ngake min form problème di fat ni ko mid the people to mansa kundani molle kata kacha ninde mo opposition olti mimbe diala nye wolom nyindi ko mbele kodo anyenta dépense la nyama nabe dépense la nyameng laftanga tawol kacha ndol tatal dende Suleiman Sao ntata sal Kenya mitino tole pour nga mabe mfana diamu bar president on ala moliye mbayle konte diamu ninte mu wala sato bi dal wala ne jannin kata Brikama nte fango plique enko alaji es dabo na ke baloite ani lamin je dabo lamin je sane yawna san atol mum tolla NP le alman la UDP ko damale jang NPP ko la mitinol be kerwol finalement alla constituent sollet fo ye carte file fo ma file nim mitino be keri nim president for their sake altali mabe nim president e bay wala fo ka dia obe ma ko la carte kesol paral mabe je Brikama South has a lot of problems atol NP nyanda mim fola kachala no al nim president it's made the people so but atol kasial ka fa la mo al kanata adalia ke dalilo min kamma amanke ko president mantra project sambakan. There are projects everywhere. This is very important.
Yes, go ahead.
Ahmad Samate is doing a lot of projects. Demba Sabal is doing projects. Ibrahim Asile is doing a lot of projects. Musa Drame, these key ministries, basic and secondary education is doing a lot of projects. University of the Gambia through Ministry of Higher Education. But there are a lot of guardians. That is. Yes.
I have 10 minutes to go.
But say, you know, they can go and have those discussions.
It's because people alka political diamuje. Baro lota not bank jana ku kalanta opposition kalanta ya kumul. Na lota toto. No, not listen, let me finish. Ni lota toto. You throw shit at opposition, you attack them, or you come. Birkano, for example, ni alaj es dabo nata woto. Ye yankuba dabo attack or aldokol attack. Obviously, what are you expecting?
Alaj's job would be he can play near field. I feel there's nothing wrong with politicians sending shades to each other. But what I also expected you to play here, me along with Mafo, Yankuba responded, Akubarola, big Bele press.
And that was wrong.
But I didn't hear you say that.
No, okay. Let me.
To throw shades at each other.
Yeah.
I'm a very active politician back in Canada.
Yeah.
I'm an officially registered Liberal Party member. Namakani, Kabir Trudeau Jamano. In fact, I won the best volunteer award in the entire Fenko youth sector. Almost 10,000 people volunteered. I won the best Trudeau Bamala dinner, Margaret Trudeau, for knocking the doors and telephone canvassing. Ni tata da politician well they are more advanced, more democratic. Itata dula tata video jibe makani diamra da ndolbe nyine kela. Whether it is during political season or during sessions, many along they are ordinary tata steel workers or farmer there. He'll always say what they are doing and he'll always throw shades at the opposition.
Yeah.
Donald Trump tata da
until
nala kukendofo abe Biden nennale. Right now, Democrats or Allah ni madani for mandani lo mi winter New York. Dauda, he would lambast Donald Trump and opposition.
That's true.
Politics anywhere is like that.
Okay.
So we cannot say ko president political le ganyendi. Na nata aidoku okalie. Alaftale fanam puru aliya tu mansayala.
So where do we draw the line? For example, when President came and attacked President Young Albe Shetro Young
attack.
No, but okay.
He throw shades.
When he came and threw shit, Ibrahim Diba Ibrahim Silo atenatala file or chicken and plan koto nimero plano for neaju nimero plano neji be for manke marsita tara hakalansi la plano le ndate kafumo le plano fere plano. I'm sure it's not even the plan. Nko maturek ngana kumola ba. So where do we draw the line? For example, if the president or Ibrahim Silla or Dembasa will throw shade at a political opponent, how do they respond? For example, the president is the #1 citizen. The office of the president is huge. Now, if Yankuba tells the president, big belly president, I don't like that. I don't think it's appropriate. But it's not an insult, right? That is also another way of throwing shit. Where do we draw the line? When somebody throws shit to somebody, if I don't never punch back, where it hurts more. So where do you throw the line?
You know what I like?
Draw the line.
There is a gentleman called Dembo Kekendo Kambi.
Yes, Dembo.
Yeah. Kabirin President Diamuta, Dembo came out and made a statement, even though I didn't agree with that.
Okay.
Because there are also things to that. But Dembo means Sata. Because he's an opposition.
Okay.
But nga espeko, that should have been the statement Yankuba should have made. And not go after the person of president. President is minu for. You understand?
Yeah.
Yankuba fitino wrong, kelod wrong. Yankuba is very militant. Nkaramolombodi is very, very militant.
Yeah.
And those are things, of course, being confrontational, this is anywhere in the world you go to.
Okay.
Manzafana Lafta, they want to, kind of stretch their power to show you, of course.
Yeah.
Sembo Bendola. I wish there could be something about that, but that is the nature of politics.
So saying, atola council solto, base, not bank, and in CRR nyolo, alla council controls also. Is everything okay in those councils? Because I have not had the president say anything to those people. Because ngal ko KMC ko ko ka kana celebrate de nim boro tra KM abe bomo min joro na tol kan amo joro amo joro birkama a ta mo ta mala asset so ngo just an asset yen bulen celebrate ngo yo foye I can celebrate na mala asset o dira. But my concern is we expect he's going to say something in KM. He said throw some shade in Brikama. But we haven't had him in North Bank say anything to the chairman. We haven't had him in CRR and Basse. And obviously, Basse and a call Is it that because more council, so everything is okay there?
Let me put this
everything is okay there?
Let me put this to rest.
Okay.
For example, Nindebe example Otal, I enjoy quoting or I enjoy referencing her brothers, UDP.
Yeah.
Most of the councillors, especially, bigger economies like West Coast, KMC. These are the biggest economic zones.
Yeah.
By virtue of that, they
are controlling
get more power to be able to independently take care of their people. Where it's natural.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe you NPP la burusubi dama wala siata base bela economic West Coast la burusubi wala la burfu dama burfu sukuta nyin jaba nyol maybe wala warta the entire economy of UR. Bari left time for all indiko ninga expect donga expect la ko ning barota North Bank region wala tata passe because the Yashis councils nim problem with Anyanta for la ndele na mamwe honorable Dabo for example UDP nkol moti je mim warata mim bunyate katambati speculo tonya mo ba mo kallanke ba mote keri nyim banko ka min daji ko nyata ana tonya mo yata he always talks about corruption but inko ndolonga local government commissioner bitaka njani mine local councilor bija mine alko mani boto san $6,000 elara woketal
okay
ya mani boto san $6,000 ya commissioner ya fojande ni tata to let's say before the babaning adim fulanja fengera UMC talib la kafo talib KMC also things happen mini alonko commissioner a query corruption related ko ye talib ning molta passport tala mo jali and contracts. I don't want to go to specific, but I have never seen, for example, let's take an example, Kabiri Rocky Malikulo in Banjul. A lot of things along commissioner. I have never seen Honorable Dabo comment Kafoko whether it is an opposition Barrow, which NPP, which is an opposition to Dabo, or my own party. Corruption is corruption. He said that. And it should be fought. No, I'm just city council nin lafta UDP man sakulaje la ngani council sol juwe ngai wala fonye na soto ngai today can you sit here again ya fonye ko nin lafta UDP council juwe la ngani council sol juwe ngai ko are you seeing what is happening in the commissions? Yes. I think what I'm are you okay with what ikamimoy akonye loko atemi for akonye UDP does not condone corruption any level, whether central government or local government. Now, when it comes to this commission, commission are ongoing. Obviously, me findi kambaje kane, but I cannot comment on that. But ning commission or a report findita, we will look at it, and based on that, we will comment. But ako commissioner. Akonye ko corruption, whether central government or local government is all corruption, and I condemn liable for it. Anyways, honestly, I wish. I wish he would have, or UDP would have made a statement. Even without coming and asking. Okay. So for ninga corruption journalists bukani before he talks about the problem of corruption in Barrow's government. So journalists don't have to ask him for him to make a like an entire television. You see, the problem is that's why you have been my favorite NPP guy. The thing is, before you know why I even please can okay because you are very politicized. You are political. Good, I'm a politician. You see,
Say.
UDP ko len karande mbatu nganyim foy sorry. UDP ko len commandi from Angleterre ndato fola ja. I kumale fonye about NPP. There was a particular team member carry. Nka barinte diamuta ona. Nka barite. Nyin commission o be nyin kumol be fola mani botol santa nyin na fengol ke yalla na min fonye. Ako ateni mol member ku killing. Atete findi la kaola ku jaw. Nka yo te findi la ku jaw fa kwa. Nka kanande amari benji betan. Nka sondela nyanda na ku jaw fola banda. Nka biyan karandi yalla e ko sedna Umar. Ayo dole be Qur'ano kono min ka foko man kana ya abudu Muhammad faina Muhammad kadmar kabirin kila banda ayo dole bi je mi alon ko Qur'ano ya sambana Uma Muhammadun illa rasul bari sedna Umar e Qur'ano tanka ako bari wum me anala Qur'an tanko be o ayo anene ma ayo faham kolumina kila beleta Abubakar yo ayo fa because kabirin kila beleta sena Umar manso ako no kila man fa momo ko kila fada abe fala because he doesn't believe ko Rasulullah will ever die even though Quran ayo afon so wolona klikta akungo kono ko kabiri Abubakar sidike nyin ayo fonyelo mu wolona ngari me bako that's the first time that ayah ever was revealed. So ndefana
to abkarande
ndefana no mati buga ndefana to abkarande ndefana
na te confusion rek ala ayo salade
kanyum ndefana kanyum fo problème o kasodol banalbe ku killing ndefana nyin kabiri nyem fo akole click ngokon ngo yo okay ndefana la mon nimi make ku for example sita bun kono nganyo kurpenye je nim fundata ne ko mon pro we are discussing it. What is wrong with that? That is the thing because min kake.
So that's your new tactic, sir.
That is politics. That is how politics is supposed to be. But Tonya, let me tell you this. Local councils, especially West Coast, President Adama Barrow and Mimfo, Mbemuru Nananje, is something me alonko, especially Kafoko, Nalia Carte of Fire Yankubae, Ntala Marse Dokula, Barnalma Fayamba Dokula, Ndam President Adama Barrow, Abet Diamol. He was just talking. But from his actions, ala past records, Ndenga aloneko, ila opposition ya wala dulala opposition ya Martina, President Barrow man development of Sambananje. So I want to conclude the meet the people to on this one. So what else do you want us to
I disagree on that, but I'll let go. We'll go. I disagree, and I have facts, evidences to show that I disagree. But I'll let it do. Let the people judge.
What else, sister?
Sama, Senegal, Masakundai, Penko Bondi, press release ko be tono wa fela 38,000. Molbe statement bondi ngaje Dr. Gaji Gomian, he's an agriculturist. That amount is small. UDP fana ya bondi, that amount is small. Nyunube mo fenne timia lonko mole ko Senegal ni lafta banko yirwa foi Senegal sembentuya ni lafta banko yirwa foi empower why 38,000 masakunda mamiro ko nyante bulo la faal demandi pour que Senegal sembentuya.
Okay. Follow. I do not have the specifics. Again, I know market analysis for groundnut, maybe the agri specialist, the agri economists probably have done their analysis.
And Dr. Gajiko is one of them.
Expert find Dr. Gajiko might be one of them.
Yes.
But he's an opposition. So
that doesn't doesn't take away from his expertise.
Yeah, you can be an expert.
Yeah.
We have economists minale bina e sijang. Yeah, for na economic mambete ambe minna mambete. But in economics also the same expertise. Well, they have different things. So you can have, a divergent opinion from somebody because of politics as an underlying factor.
Okay.
So, but again, I'm not saying yes or no. But one thing I can assure you is President Adama Barrow has the best interest of farmers at heart.
Okay.
So whatever decision they have reached, whatever decision they have agreed upon in terms of prices, not even at the level of the president or the minister of agriculture. There must be experts, many along they work in these ministries. And some of these people, I can tell you, are not even NPP. They are not UDP. They are just experts doing their jobs. They must have studied and researched and look at the market, compare and contrast. Government also wants to get something probably from the Ghana. But what is the money available? Gambia is a poor country. Manzakunda Bulu Makobe. How much money is available? If I want to buy granite ton for 50,000, President, Abasan a ton 100,000 because Senegal near Sembentuya. Wolung afon kamin for Jalba Kuyadeko, Gambia mu bentent, Senegal mala barmat, Nimbenten wote boiler, Barumanyanta sewolan. So President Barrow has that heart for the farmers, but we don't know. You and I are not privy to factors or reasons as to why President will peg price of a ton at 38,000. Until we do Mustafa Swandi Dabo's job, investigative journalism, and come up with facts. I support the government in this regard.
Okay.
So
finally,
except otherwise,
finally, maybe if we cut the cost of the media people to allow million or can,
National Assembly has the powers.
Well, they have done their role. They have done their job and allocated amounts.
You see what we have done.
What government needs to do is respect the allocated amounts and just.
Let me tell you something about this. Finally, just 1 minute. Let me tell you what happened.
Finally,
you see, this made the people talk. Unlike the past, my mind slipped off it. Jamaica means spend, Dolka means spend as Seattle. I'm sure you know that the value of money depreciates as the world grows. I'm sure you know about that. B, is natural. Kabo B, yasan dollars $10. 10 years later, itenyin soto no dollars $10. Womu adama dunia fa be ke bakane. Kodola value fa naka jiwa. Barimbe kumakile mfone about this, made the people stop. Usually, every single district or constituency will have a meeting. But because we want to cut the cost of this, President Natman Ogonyimaka consider the comment. I can assure you he will not go. Because we could do it in a different way. But constitutionally, I forced a prayer. But you know what we did? Some of the places, we put 3 constituencies together. In some places, big ones like West Coast, in fact, you have 5 constituencies in Fonyi. We had 2 meetings because we want to cut it. If you come to Combo here, Combo East, Brikama South, Brikama North, 1 meeting in Brikama. When you go to Combo South, it only in Salimentre, 1 meeting. Dang, All Yundum, Animbusumbala, 1 meeting. We are doing it because we want to cut the cost. So, we look at our efforts. Don't just look at the money. So you
cut cost later.
Imagine if we are doing, we want to do more coming.
Now you cut cost to that. So you see,
it's not that we want to be extravagant.
Finally.
We are not
finally.
No, you cut the cost. 3 constituencies because every constituency thank you for that NPP government.
Okay, thank you, Ahmed, for the information. Thank you, Ahmed, for the information.
Okay, let's go forward.
Finally, why do you think Gambian people should vote for President Barrow again for a third term?
Because President Adama Barrow is doing what he had promised Gambians. 1, he has maintained peace and security. He has allowed Gambians to express themselves freely, even if some of those expressions are starkly against him and his government. He has allowed people to insult him, insult his parents, insult every minister in his cabinet, every supporter of his, like me, every day, Kemela Kanandeka. He has allowed, even if there is a law now, that if you insult a public official, you go to court every day. Ngaje comments all day, president on platforms. Nothing is done about it. And I think these are very important things. He is building a foundation for infrastructure, especially roads. And this is helping a lot of Gambians in terms of economy. Molka ngaje molka for silo manke dibino sa fatu mbatu ngani ndula for demanding. Because the thing is, good food, for example, jani silo kana na korda ninkomba wafla maybe mba wafla 500,000 niemano dada ya sambana nje mba wafla 1 million. But forget about that. Bitiko ninga loan na dato sila tije nin sula ba rent la maybe mba dilala $1,000 a month. But ninga silo so sula ba rent la because communication, there is road infrastructure, sula ba tala 10,000. Nga economic status of the community nga silo samba damage nga siandil. Momo nibe keno wafila generally name 50 by 50 bebul. There are three things they are very key. Ikaminu for purukela value nye value mimfala molsa sangal ka jaren. Wolomu 50 by 50 lebembul 50 meters away from the highway. 10 meters away from the highway. The closer your plot of land is to the highway, the better the price for you as an individual. Kurang bijel. There is electricity. The closer you are to electricity, the more expensive your plot of land. Your family. These are major things mini alonko mansakunda be samba kana molie. So near will samba na molie, you are uplifting their situation. Wodama because ngalon time otije. Moli yanda carte of file President Adama Barrow.
Wodama.
Lombe for because you have a time that ni nse dia mo fosama somanda.
Okay. So silo nada geo nada kurao nada. In peace.
Karambugo lota, you have accessibility, education. There are key things minuka education drive. Accessibility, affordability.
And quality.
Well, quality comes. It will. It comes. But the basics are affordability and accessibility.
And all of you.
Janika quality soto. Ya mumele soto. Tada karamudo he kari bara amam fello amumel tada karamudo le kalo follow ne karamudo lo mol fanae karambungo ye tano je ya afford no ye sembo soto no ka karambungo jo manza kunda. These are very basic stuff mini along world. They are a must. President Adama Barrow is making that very, very easy. Karambungo sa itata sade o sade MRC Holland be classroom lola standard bunjawol be fatafarating basic education. Ninata University of the Gambia. I karambun kendola be olle loka. He has upgraded some from college level to university. He has brought in technical education. Mi alonko wolu. It's very easy for you to have self-reliance. Ye fontano in TVET programs, engineering institutions everywhere. Fonyi, Basse, you know more than I do. But more important than that, at university level, now they have not only offered scholarships to Gambians, they are now even going to the level me along advanced countries on the also. Niman scholarships because ila school fees, ila kaitol man better. We have a loan scheme program. Mbedon tolano yeta karangola. Niye karango baye do ko soto. Ye manza kundajo. So these are things mini alonko nka jutila, but they are very, very key to any country's development. President Adam Barrow is doing these things.
And that's why we should re-elect him.
That's more than enough to re-elect him. More than enough.
Fatata.
Electricity or MVG. Dulal be ni watin kona mamme ndara tola ndefa tata sate.
Galimbe so kumasa fatala kodi akatutende kama.
You know why? Again, that is why you see that is why nimol ko amanta develop because nyinka minke miana kada kama is because the demand is very high. Iteninte al mbe bunjam ballo la jam. Ninga bunjam ballo because there is democracy, there is stability, there is safety. People are coming home to build big buildings to international standards. Ye ta China, ye big television or samanang, ye nice or samanang, ina niko able be supply electricity be supply. The demand is high. Now it may not be able. So we are growing faster than our electricity infrastructure. But the president is doing well. Momin bebes bullo la nyin sade kon asiabata. Adu nyimbe ne nyim bunjamba lo. ika jorangol le samanam AC balle mu ni lampu balle mu ni television balle mu ni stove sol le mu minalon ko kutubun ko le kanyi stove bal ni friji ba katangol ika minuta use America ika menu use Canada ika menu use Japan ko minna sisa ba ibe bunjaw loka deki saba ni pare de tata China le container fandina o friji ba o electricity abe kuran jamal tala mbare musu. So that is why this kamaj is happening, but we are working very hard now. OMBG will solve your problem.
So Fatou bantan programu bantan sarodi gamben wala de batakan ten do ko so do la ni ale alo ya fo gamben wala very ya fo le say to
Jero Gambians me min fulala wala nyinde ko Kerr Fatou kana tenkung
birga man ko la wifi iko free wifi
and you know why
iko sani je
ma jibel
every 2016
wo bala lafta ja
I promise you afanya jang wato bantala so
wifi mbafala wifi dalilo me adna ma samana ma jibel ko janninka $10,000 $20,000 spend na wifi diala alka buraus wo ko dombe min spend out longata nga Gambia college nga bunkendo loje pour nga sirangol kije pour mol katano karambo so nga wifi nga dabat nga samba Gambia college mol wato molu e ka sirang chika from one institution to another because sirangol buka so class ko so nim president ya we is scale of preference jumala kumada mol wifi nga ke dula beto wala nga sirang samana Gambia college so birka ko nga sirang kudol sambala na Gambia college ngala Gambia college upgrade bu kudol bije to nga wala fende
aji de ñom politicien manena ma ngene de wala madibu saba yo video kinyena ne ko mba post la ngeni fenge ya to dum sonke singate to
bakar singa
albi donga la madibu saba ini president wa diari barke sainde
Fatou
albi diari barke
kada president la Carola yalo nyem moli kantonye mol ka tantawol bonni nan kabirin basse baba bonan tubabudu tantawol lipa kabirin airport for pipeline kontano because ila babal na ndela big brother bina nda mbane jalolo ndi ngan jija iko benden nenno
hani menye mo ne fengelo ila president wala
fonda manyalo konta
ando nga yeri president bulo albi diari mbari
anga yalo nga follow fo jang ko
albi diari mbari
kano e sabandiro ke sondomol min kono setan nana ta ja jow yata nyaawo nya o setan be mallale ite you are nde nim president wende kanu ba o dunia bele wolo president wen kanu adum president ya lon ne ko ndenga kanule ana la family ay wolon so feo nata wo kanoni wo tonya moya nyoe supersedes that so wala nata murundana nyoka is my big brother is my
nyinto kono kay ngo jere nyinto kono
exactly do duala le setan malu say fal kiaba ndeni na baro fana ko ngam fonyo
ibo di wi baro wato bata ja ne saro di la mola fere ndi for ndi wi baro la janele
abanta yo wala ko dañu kaydo kutu la jan yo ande min fala mole do ko political canal sometimes political temperature got very high but nga faham nga understand ko Gambia anim banku mankele mo bele dent we are all very closely connected so adundol funding kele especially nde I have learned a lot when it comes to politics so nde itende jala ngata modo fensa fe ngata je nga comment wala ngane mota screenshot le dulat ni lafta min fola na page do nga diamu wala nga saferoke moy fe open fo baro ala page na hajiti ni mol bi dan na page to bi dan na state house page let them be responsible.
And I can't the state house. Stop there.
We are in control.
Let me stop.
That page is ours.
No, listen. Stop.
That page is
no, listen. Stop.
Is our
state
page.
house doesn't belong to Barrow. It doesn't belong to NPP. It doesn't belong to Ahmed Gitteh.
But state house
it's the Gambian people's house.
State house Facebook page right
it's
now.
Gambian people's house.
State house Facebook page.
That's Senegal right now. Jomaila page. Kaji, that is democracy.
Yeah, but again, I'm not saying
that is democracy.
Let us do it responsibly. Fulanjango. politiko
jamu ba
mbem bakilin fakilin neti nga doma nyofe nga nyoyaya nga jele wala nante nga sana yatilin half brother ha dole na ye
ba ya be dur ni wato ko
nte mala bi nga
ay juwela satan
so ngeten du ngeja ite sana for giving us the platform.
Of course,
and,
all the time
we are available mbijanne sign anytime feel fe jakal ilaftanga na jam nkumandi the institution, you know, Mialonko is in question. I will make my findings. I'll try as much as I can. Ngatanga information o sambanang ngadila na jareta kadi. Bari mbenna mansa kunda tentula back. Adu mbe minister dandang konton na back. Ibe doku kendol. Na Ismaila Cisse.
No problem.
Ha. Okay. Information minister mbe tendula mbe interior minister tendula
is information minister akamleke
he's giving you what you should know.
What is that?
He's very proactive. I Mansakunda special program organizer Mansakunda Dami Alongo, he created that opportunity for journalists to ask questions and to also listen, you know, to programs that respective
my energy is right now. So I'm gonna let it there. I need Minister Juma. Interior Minister. Interior Minister. I need Juma.
Security. Na Ibrahim Asile Isana. Demba Sabali. You know, and all the cabinet ministers for the great job, and of course under the dynamic leadership of His Excellency President Adam Barrow. So make sure you vote for Barrow in 2026.
Thank you very much, Ahmed Gitteh. 2026 be jamfarene. So mal me vote let me follow. I've not made up my mind, but I'm certainly not voting for that term. Ni NPP candidate to I have made up my mind. That term tem kakate fairway, but I don't know. Not yet ke candidate to the kind.
Since that this is not third term.
This is second. No, this is not second term. This is third term.
Yeah, we don't want to get into that.
But thank you so much for coming.
You're welcome.
And you know, congratulations one more time. I'm super happy for you, and I'm proud of you. You've been doing an amazing job for your team, and I think you deserve this. You know, I have said this 100 times here, and I'm happy that today that happened. You know, and obviously, Fana and I, you play your part. Kanake kom model nak, you know.
I have a big sister.
Need the system okono. Then you know you turn upside down. It only okay. Because at the end of the day, you come back to us. Nearby can come back to us. So go do the NPP mall. Ni nimbarobe diare ibuke moy. But ni kuyakata ye kanaje telephone ka interview request na sija. Wa do ni ol dia request mfana ka balane ka fo ko ka barabe diare ibe okere. The need of the baroye ka moy kanaja. So don't be like those people.
But you know, I've always been very available.
Yes,
very accessible.
You have always accessible.
Whether we disagree,
we always disagree.
Good, but
and we always fight.
Available.
Yes, you have always.
I will, and I will always be available.
I like that
because there's always something good I would have to say about my government.
Yes.
So I assure you.
Yeah. But thank you very much for coming, and good night to you all watching. See you again next week with another politician. And happy Thanksgiving to all our folks in the U.S. Today is Thanksgiving Day, and we're thankful for everything here, you know, for our families, for our government, for our people, and for our staff, and, you know, everybody. Good night to you all. See you again next week.
Thank you.
Good night. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Jah Oil is Gambia's leading dealer when it comes to fuel and has made it a duty to satisfy our customers at all costs. Vehicle owners and drivers need not to worry about getting quality and affordable fuel anymore. That is the reason we have our branches spread all over the country for easy access. For good and clean fuel, the only place to go is Jah Oil. Your need for good and durable petrol, gasoline and kerosene has been covered by Jah Oil, so you need not to worry. Walk to any of our branches and get served to satisfaction. With Jah Oil, your satisfaction is our priority. That is why we have branches at your doorstep to make accessibility easy for you. With our professional and friendly staff, we can assure you satisfaction. To get the best fuel for your engines, the only place to go is Jar Oil. With Jar Oil, it's all enjoyment. That is why we are offering you low charges at our stations on the Coastal Road and Banjul. For more information, you can call 770-8080, 322-9070, 714-7273, or 387-1321. Jar Oil, the pride of the nation.
We are happy to announce the launch of our new logo. We have evolved since our incorporation in 1997, and it is time to refresh our new look to reflect who we are today. Before I reveal our new look, however, walk with me while I take you through our journey of the last 25 years. Trust Bank was incorporated on July 3rd, 1997 and began operations on October 1st, 1997. Following the collapse of the parent company of its predecessor, Meridian, the CBG stepped in and recapitalized the bank and held the shares in trust, thus the name Trust Bank. In 1999, the first investors who responded to the IPO and paid $1.50 per share received their maiden dividend of 50 bututs per share. In 2000, the bank fully paid back its investment by declaring another dividend of $1.20 bututs per share, making it a cumulative dividend per share of $1.70, which was 20 bututs above the purchase price. Between 2002 to date, share capital has increased from $27 million to $200 million, indicating that the bank has grown organically by plowing back profits to increase capital, while at the same time paying dividends to shareholders. The bank was listed on the Ghana Stock Exchange in November 2002, being the first ever cross-border listing in the sub-region. Now let's talk about awards. The bank was awarded the insignia of the National Order of the Republic of the Gambia, ORG, in the year 2010 by His Excellency the President of the Republic of the Gambia. During the past years, the bank has received so many national and international awards. Banker Magazine, 6 times. Global Finance, 6 times. Gambia Chamber of Commerce and Industry, 5 times. We began operations with 3 branches. Now, we have 18 branches and 20 ATMs and counting. On digital services, mobile app, check. Online banking, check. Transaction alerts, check. Watch this space. We've got more coming. Creating employment, yes, we've got that too. 400 and counting. And we take great care of our people too. Medical insurance, life insurance, private and state pensions, annual pilgrimages for both Muslims and Christians, training, yes, we do them all. One team, one family, one goal. That's the Trust Bank spirit. On corporate social responsibility, we have spent over $50 million in various causes. We care, and so we share. Over the years, we have paid over $1.6 billion to our shareholders, which translates to a whopping $20 per share and counting. Phenomenal returns for our shareholders who purchased at $1.50. Corporate taxes, over $1 billion is paid. Our journey started with a vision to create the kind of company that delivers quality services and innovative products with an inspired team dedicated to serving our customers, our environment, and our communities at large in the most caring manner. We remain fully committed to delivering excellent services to each of our stakeholders, customers, employees, shareholders, and partners. So, we remain true to who we have always been,